They let me go. About once a month, they'll let me go and get my pass. And they say, now we're going to watch their numbers, and if they beat us, we're going to beat you up. They always come down on me. So anyway, you guys ready to get into some learning stuff? Okay, so you can raise your right hand and say, I promise.
I promise.
I will still like you.
I will still like you.
When we get done.
When we get done.
Okay, see? We're okay. All right. My team is called the Breadwinners. And these are the 4 C's, the keys to becoming a breadwinner. Everyone wants to be a breadwinner in their family, correct? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about, and as I go through these bullet points, I'm going to basically give you some stories, some things that we do, some things that I've done, just to show you a mindset. Because one of the things that's so very important about this business is your mindset. Mindset and work ethic. Those 2 things above anything else. If you don't have the right mindset, you can't even become coachable. Okay? So the first thing is we're going to look at excuses. I am not an excuse-filled person. Let me give you an example, okay? I live in Compton, and where I worked as a probation officer was an hour and a half away. Now, I didn't have to drive that every day. I would drive it on a Sunday. I had to be there at 6 a.m. And then I had to spend Sunday night, Monday night, and then I was off late Tuesday night. So I spent 3 days of work. I worked inside of a prison for juvenile delinquents, the worst juveniles in the country. And I was off work for 4 days. Well, on Monday nights, Neil Gerfine would have drill for skill. And they would start after KT time, 10 o'clock, 10:30. And we would be there until about 2 in the morning. This was like every other Monday, at least twice a month. And I wasn't attending because I was at work. I was an hour and a half away to work. So once he discovered that I actually got off work at 10 o'clock at night, but then I had to go, to the dorm to go to sleep or whatnot, be back up in the morning or 6 a.m., technically not able to leave because we have to be able to respond to emergencies in the middle of the night. But at 10 o'clock, I was off, my shift was done. He said, oh, you can come to drill skill. And in my mind, I'm like, is he crazy? Does he know I would have to drive an hour and a half down? So what I started doing is he asked me to come, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it this one time, and that's it. I didn't tell him that, though. I just did it. So I came down, and I got off work a little earlier. You know how you get the names and stuff? I left around 9:30. And I got there about 10:45. He had just started at like 10:30. But everybody else, when we were done at 1 in the morning, they'd be home in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I had to drive back an hour and a half, speeding about an hour and 15 minutes to get back to the dorm. Then when I get there, it's 3 in the morning. Now I have to sleep for about 2.5 hours and get up and work a 16-hour shift the next day. But I did it. And I started to do it every time he had drill for skill. So I don't take kindly to excuses. I've never missed a meeting, ever. One time, right before I got licensed, because I had planned a trip already to go out of town for a family reunion. Other than that, I never missed a meeting, ever. So I have zero tolerance for excuses. I don't make them. When I was sick, I went to a meeting. When you're sick, you go to work, right? Okay. I pulled over on my way. All I could think about is, for a simple paycheck, I literally, because I'm worried about what my job will think of me, I'm worried about if I call off too much and not go to work, when I do ask for that day off, they're not going to give it to me. All of that made me go to work sick, with a fever, coughing, throwing up. When I was there, I would even go to work so sick to where at least let me just show up and I can be so sick they'll send me home. Anybody ever did that? Yeah. Okay, all that. You got yourself up and you went just because you were worried about how your job receives you. And if you're going to need a favor later on, they're going to give it to you, right? So why you can't do that for your business? You do it for somebody else, you can't do it for your business. So that would go through my head every time. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I have to make say to myself, I'm not going. But before that 5-6 minutes was over, when I had that thought, I found myself getting dressed and going to that meeting. You always feel better once you go. So I never miss the meeting. So I have zero tolerance for excuses. As a matter of fact, they can't even give me their excuse. Let me tell you how this works. Okay? Remember when you used to call off to work? Before you called off to work, you have to, it took you probably the 30 minutes to think of what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. And if you have multiple people you could call, you're trying to figure out which one you're going to call that's not going to give you the most grief. Am I the only one? Okay. So, what happens is, whatever you're really going to do that day, you're trying to figure out who you're going to call that's going to understand the most. And once you get that call done, don't you feel better about yourself? You're like, okay, now I'll go ahead and go shopping, do what I was going to do, take my kids to the park, whatever it was, now you feel better, correct? All right. I don't give them a chance to do that. Because I want you to be on edge all day long. So, you call me and tell me, Tonia, you know what, I'm not going to make the meeting today. I'm immediately going to say, okay, no problem, don't worry about it, and I'm hang up. I need you on, oh my God, what you thinking? Oh my God, because guess what, if it's real, if it's really real, you're not going to care what I'm making. I'm just not coming. I just can't get out of bed, or whatever it is, I'm just not coming. But if you were trying to get out of it to go do something you had no business doing, 9 times out of 10, guess what? They show up. And I said, I thought you wasn't coming. Oh, you know, I went ahead and took care of it. I can't. Okay. Because you worried all day, you didn't get that off your chest. You didn't get to see how, you didn't get to read my response to see if I was okay with it or not. Oh, okay, well, you know what? Take care of that. I don't need you comfortable. I need you uncomfortable all day. Again, if it was legitimate, you're not going to care, right? All right. So I don't do well with excuses. So ironically, because they learned that, they don't call me. They just don't show up. I don't want to know why you're not coming. The bottom line is you're not here. You're just not there yet. That's okay, though. You just don't live a lie. You're just not where you need to be. So don't tell me you want to pay $3,000 this month and then you miss a meeting. That doesn't even line up. That shouldn't even be in the same set. I want to make $3,000, but I can't be here Saturday. Oh, you're not going to pay $3,000 then. Just accept that, though. I'm okay with it because I'm thinking of this meeting. So, don't ask why, ask how. I never asked. Why? What I did want to know is more. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Okay, so how do I do this? Okay, so how do I do that? Okay, what does it mean when this happens? What does it mean when I was the most, like, what does that mean? That's why Herman was like, can you do something with her? Because I just can't. Instead of me, her asking me, and then I got to ask you, let's just cut out the middleman. You know what I'm saying? So, I was very inquisitive. I mean, I'm a Gemini. That's what we do. I want to know how it works. How does it go? How do I go? Gemini. Whatever number is in here, just know it's times 2. Sometimes 3. And we know we're a little different. We accept that. Okay. But you should have a Gemini in your team, though. We work hard. We have to. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. I can go on with that all day long. Competence. How do you become competent? Okay, understand something. First, you have to learn how to overcome objections. This one right here is probably the biggest piece, the best one of the 4 C's, because this is where you really learn and dig into the business. You must become competent. When you, in the beginning, if you're going on 10 qualified appointments and you only close 2, how long do you want to live like that? You have to evaluate every time you don't close a sale. Every time I close